Hello, I'm excited and I want to thank the VMware community and VMUG to have us an opportunity here to present and talk about VSPEX Blue with EMC and Brocade.
Hi Juan, my name is Diederik DeJongh. I work for the VSPEX Blue team in EMEA, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the advantages that VSPEX Blue brings together with our good partnership with Brocade. So bring it to the first slide. Where are we playing with this new solution? It's hyper-converged. It's a hyper-converged infrastructure where you basically take the compute layer, the memory layer, storage and networking layer, and then the management, and we combine that all into one appliance. And the reason we're doing that is because we're seeing a big shift in this industry that it's a commoditization of the hardware underneath, and we're really looking upstairs at what we need to do there to make it easier to land workloads on there, and to basically create this simple to manage software-defined scale-out architecture. Easy to add more appliances to a scale-out architecture. If you take a look at what VCE and EMC these days bring together with Brocade, is basically all the time a scale-out approach into any product solution that we bring to market. And it's very important because we want the customer to have the ease of use, to add more to their environment, to grow. And, a very interesting component of this solution is vSAN. It makes it easier to create this distributed layer. Very intelligent approach, very VMware driven. It's the EvoRail engine that automates the deployment of this type of appliance, and that's how we actually make this a very simple solution. Redefined simplicity is therefore the tagline for this type of solution. So we go to the next slide. If you look at the hardware specifications, we try to make it very simple for our customers. The choice around a standard or a performance model. That's where you really break it down into what is inside. On a standard model, we work with a set of memory, and on the performance model, it's a little bit more. There we want your OLTP workloads or your VDI workloads to work well on that type of layer. That's a commoditized server appliance with 4 nodes inside. Very Intel driven, of course, an Ivy bridge. And then from the storage principles, we use with a flash first strategy, right? And that's how we catch all the IOs in the beginning, and then we destage into HDD. And there again, you see the power of vSAN and vSphere as one cluster, one scale-out approach to let this appliance run itself. And last but not least, of course, if you want to do this well and you're going to hook it up to a top-of-rack switch, and Juan is going to talk a little bit more about that, we're working with 10 gig over Ethernet, and we're keen and focused on virtualizing that network from the layer 2 and out to the bigger topology of the customer. And that's why we bring ease of use at the commoditized hardware approach, and then with a fully automated approach into the network.
So Diederik, what are some of the value that EMC brings into EvoRail with VSPEX Blue?
There is value on top of that. It's not just a me too with EvoRail approach. EMC has done a lot of added value integration from where we add virtual appliances to this solution. And if you take a look at what the approach is, it should be an easy, downloadable approach for customers to fully integrate virtual editions of, for instance, recovery point for VMs, for business continuity, where we replicate consistency groups of VMs across multiple sites. This is how you stay, in a good disaster recovery scenario. And then, of course, we have Cloud Array. If we have a cold data buildup on the appliance, we really want to burst out into a hybrid cloud model. Go to your service provider cloud or one of the big cloud players where you can easily archive that data, burst it out there. And of course, you have to back up the VM. You have to back up the VM with an SLA awareness on the application these days. That's where VDPA is integrated. Great product from VMware, now integrated into vSphere 6.0. And so we bring a lot of these virtual appliances via VSPEX Blue Market onto this bigger solution. And of course, VSPEX Blue Manager, we extend a little bit of what EvoRail and VMware brought us. And so on and so forth. I mean, there's going to be more virtual appliances to be added into this. Not to forget, of course, EMC secure support. Right? We want to monitor this both ways, and we're allowing our customers to reach out easily and create service requests via chat, online, knowledge base, forums. Any way you want to reach out to EMC, and that's the full support. That's the VMware and EMC support.
So what is the scale for VSPEX Blue and the number of appliances you can have today?
Okay, so right now there's an eight appliances scale-out architecture, 32 nodes. There's 4 nodes in that appliance, and that's a vSAN cluster scale-out. in the future, you will see, an easily scale out to 64 nodes, and so 16, and it's gonna grow. I mean, vSAN is really becoming a mature product and adding more features in the near future. So you're going to see huge clusters, and if you're going to build these clusters, you're also going to see a lot of protection domains within the cluster again, right? There's a lot of added security built in on that.
Yeah, that's a good point. So with vSAN, obviously it's software-defined storage, and it's a very scalable architecture, as I mentioned. To get to the physical nodes in a vSpec Blue Evo Rail architecture, then you need that 10 gig connectivity.
Absolutely, that's a mandatory thing. So you can explain some more about that.
Yeah, and that's where Brocade comes in with our IP storage switch. We provide the connectivity that gets you access to each of those physical nodes with 10 gig. One of the things that we kind of differentiate with here is we've been in partnership with EMC for well over 15 years now, with Evo Rail as well, with vSpec Blue. One of the things that we want to do is making sure that we provide that scalability. It's a scale-out architecture. In our IP storage switch, it scales from all the way from one appliance, which has 8 ports of 10 gig connectivity, all the way out to that today, up to 64 ports, and either a 1 or 2 switch configuration. One of the things that's kind of uniquely differentiated is having that EMC support. So now that we're in partnership also with this IP storage switch, it's actually one call of support for the customers in vSpec Blue. And that's a really differentiated feature. Having one call of support really gets mean time to resolution. The other thing about having this type of architecture, it's purpose-built for IP storage.
It is.
We have some of the deepest buffer in the industry, and that makes a big difference, especially for vSAN, software-defined storage, which tends to, when you put those customer workloads, Diederik, tend to be very bursty. So when you're communicating to access that data between the different physical nodes, it's really important that you actually have that type of buffer capability.
Absolutely.
So add that with all the integration that we've done with VMware, makes it an ideal joint converged, hyper-converged solution for vSpec Blue.
Yes, you're correct.
So some of the things that we do at Brocade in conjunction with EMC is we do a lot of that automation, not only in vSphere, but also with vRealize and Log Insight, which today is a part of the vSpec Blue Evo Rail distribution.
Absolutely. That's where you take it to the next level, I guess, right? It's the holistic management, going deep into the layers and to do real monitoring, live monitoring, and you want to really break it down. You want to do the root cause analysis of wherever the problem might occur in your environment, and it could be, of course, the network, it could be on the Blue appliance.
Absolutely.
And that's where vRealize, a very, very good holistic management approach from VMware comes into play. Excellent product.
So and to kind of ease with that deployment, we do a lot of joint solution guidance, technical enablement for our customer base.
We do.
Following basically soup to nuts, how to deploy it, and it is actually a very easy solution when you follow that simple process. And that's the key. Basically, is making sure that you have that checklist approach.
Have your pre-site checklist. Look at the configuration guide. Talk to your networking team, and then you'll have this up and running in 10 minutes. And it'll be the most easy way to deploy a new hyper-converged infrastructure in the market. That's the way to do it. And looking at both vendors, EMC and Brocade, I think the amount of material that we provide here to make it so easy for our partners and customers to deploy it, Juan, I think that is absolutely the advantage that you can have with our partnership, right? There's a lot of material out there.
Good. So just to maybe put a nice little summary to it. So obviously we bring in a tight relationship for that support, joint support between a joint hyper-converged solution, together with the automation that vSpec Blue with the solutions that you guys brought to the table. What are some of the other things, Diederik, that you guys have integrated that you want to summarize here that are really important?
Well, we're gonna see more on network virtualization being integrated in the near future. This thing is we're gonna go to more models. We're gonna see a Gen 2 release in 16, where you're gonna see a much broader set of choice that we're gonna give to our customers to have the right sized approach to your workloads and to your users. I think that is very important. We're going to bring more tooling onto how to validate the sizing, how to really create TCO and ROI tooling, so you can build your business case as a customer. As a procurement officer, you would like to know what you're buying up front, right? It's very predictable in that way. And the support model is going to grow. We're going to bring more of these virtual downloadables, and you can expect more of the EMC type of downloadable being a virtual edition, and then with very commoditized hardware underneath, you're going to see a VSPEX Blue market just grow immensely, and of course with an ecosystem of partners such as Brocade to support that with their products again. So it's going to be big.
Yeah, and that's one of the key advantages of having a commodity type platform, is that you can later on, as new features, new extended feature sets, they can just be updated real easily.
Absolutely. The automation of patching and software updates, and then any type of application that you're going to load on top, you're going to do very tight integration. We're going to do tight integration with that application, ISV vendor probably, and so this is one of the easiest. I call it the Lego, easiest Lego approach on the edge usually of customers, with a core data center, and this is a great edge product. But you'll see it sitting also very much in the core of a data center of more of a mid-market type customer or an SMB type customer, and that's where it sits well, with an IT department that has to run things with one or two guys, and that's a perfect product, right? It takes away a lot of the pain of setting things up and having the knowledge for storage and networking. And here it all comes into one, right? There's one training for this, and that's how you move forward. Sometimes as a smaller customer.
So. Strong support.
Yeah.
Very automated.
Very automated.
Very
highly efficient. Following the VMware roadmap, the integration of all those products, following the hyper-converged landscape, and our dear competitors are pushing us there all day, and that's what we like. That's how we know where we're gonna have more feature sets. And you're gonna see more from vSAN in the future, right? And we're gonna see things like dedupe and compression, things that have been a lot of ask and need for from the customers, existing EMC and Brocade customers, and I think that's perfect. You're gonna see higher bandwidths in the near future. Of course, I mean all about going from 10 to 40 or to 100 gig over Ethernet in the near future, because that's where big data centers are pushing us at times. So. Exciting times with this type of product, it's pushing technology to the limits.
Very strong support for investment protections of the services that you get from this type of Hyper-Converged.
Absolutely.
So where can we get more information?
You can get more information right here at VMworld at the booths, either Brocade's booth, EMC's booth, VCE's booth. You see that we're all one big family right now, and this is interesting, that the VSPEX Blue Enablement Center, we get a lot of great feedback on one central repository for this type of solution. But if you're familiar with VSPEX, where we started 3 years ago, VSPEX reference architectures, you're going to also find us at that community site. You're going to find it at Brocade. You're going to find more information at VMworld and on VMware sites. And that is reference architecture. That's the solution guides, right? That's all the deployment guides that we already talked about a little bit. And you're going to see the white papers, right? The validation of that this is a new market that we want to play in. And of course, demos, educational videos. I mean, we love to demo this new appliance, and we do it all the time. So reach out to us if you want to see more, from the interface or how that automation 10-minute deployment comes to life.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Juan. It was a pleasure. Okay. Thanks.